Well, we got it. Next Sunday evening at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we get all of our questions answered on whose team is going to prevail. The Bills fan base has been talking reckless. The Ravens fan base has been talking all kinds of trash. They've been going back and forth for weeks, really all season long, because early on in the year it was looking like, oh, Lamar Jackson, MV3, let's go. And then later on in the season, it was looking like, Josh Allen, he took over in the MVP lead. Oh boy, Bills Mafia taking over. And then just a couple days ago, it seems like things just flipped to Lamar's side, but we won't know until it's official, even though the votes are already in. So whoever the MVP is, no matter how this game goes, that's who the MVP is. But I know neither one of these guys, Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, are not thinking about the MVP at all. They are thinking about this playoff game coming up, and it's going to be on all of our minds all week long. Team, keep it clean. We got a lot to talk about. Before we get into it, make sure you leave a like on the video, click that thumbs up button, and also subscribe to the channel and turn those notifications on so you don't miss a single update. So, game time. Next Sunday, of course, it's in Buffalo because they the number 2 seed. We the 3, but it's in Buffalo at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. NFL, y'all are smart. And we figured that y'all were going to do this, especially when it was official that it was going to be the Ravens taking on the Bills, but they saved the best game for last. NFL was like, Chiefs, Texans, get that out the way early. Them NFC games, oh yeah, they cool too, but get those taken care of. We want Bills, Ravens last, because it's going to be a show. That's the one that everybody's going to be watching. That is their big ticket item for next weekend, and we can't wait. We really can't. I know it's going to be a tough game. I know it's going to be a stressful game, but hey, this is the path that so many Ravens fans talked about, especially later on in the season. So many Ravens fans were like, oh my goodness, imagine this path to the Baltimore Ravens getting the job done and hosting that Lombardi Trophy. First, they take on, a lot of us was thinking it might be the Chargers because it was lining up early on like it was going to be the Chargers, but it didn't happen that way, so it ended up being Pittsburgh. They were like, imagine Pittsburgh and all the narratives that came with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, the Steelers got the Baltimore Ravens number. Lamar Jackson, before this year, he was 1-4 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but then he got that win against the Pittsburgh Steelers later on this year, so he was 2-4. So imagine him going 3-4 against the Steelers and really kind of killing that narrative that the Steelers really got his number like that. That's exactly what happened. And they were like, oh, then imagine the next time he plays in the playoffs, it being against the Buffalo Bills. And now we're getting that, and we know the whole MVP conversation. Of course, Lamar dominated this year numbers-wise. Josh Allen, he got the numbers record-wise, but not stat-wise, and this has been a lot of back and forth. We've seen a lot of propaganda and some crazy propaganda, arm punts, if you will, changing interceptions to arm punts, and it's a whole lot of stuff. Every time Lamar Jackson would have a big game and just kill a narrative, there will be some story that came out about Josh Allen. Oh, man, he's been playing this whole season with a broken hand. Oh, man, Josh Allen, he wanted to play quarterback since he was a little kid. It would always be something crazy. At the end of the season, it was wild just seeing that. But again, like I've been saying, although there's been so much back and forth between the fan bases, both of these quarterbacks are amazing. You already know they are. Like Lamar Jackson, best in the world. Best in the world. Josh Allen is like that, man. He is really one of them guys, man. And Josh Allen is a scary quarterback because he can get it done both ways too, man. He can get it done through the air. He can get it done on the ground. Josh Allen is tough, man. So this is going to be a game. I know what happened in week 3. I get what happened in week 3. And I love what happened in week 3. And I would not be mad if it happened again. In my mind, I can't realistically expect it to go down like that. I wouldn't be mad. But I expect this one to be a much more stressful game for both sides. I mean, hopefully it's only stressful for the Bills. And the Ravens take care of business in a major way. But this is playoffs, man. It's a much, much different atmosphere. It's a much different setting. These teams are in 2 completely different places than they were back then. So I expect this to be, it's going to be a fight, man. It really, really is. But as long as the Ravens come out on top then that's all that matters. Team, keep it clean. We don't reach my favorite part of these videos where we get to feature your questions. If you would like to take part in it, you can send an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com or for the Team Keep It Clean patrons. And if you would like to join them, you can go to patreon.com/Ingravenvids. You can send a DM directly on Patreon. Now, I got to give a special shout out to the newest Team Keep It Clean channel members. The newest Team Keep It Clean channel members are Obi-Wan, Shinobi, and TroyGordon. Appreciate the both of y'all continuing to hold it down for the channel members. Much love to y'all. Now, let's get straight into these questions. First one came from my guy, Hoodie Megatron. He said, Ing, what's up, man? What it do? So fired up for today. I have complete confidence. He sent this before the game, by the way. I have complete confidence, and I had it all week. Everyone is worried about how we'll look without Zay Flowers, but I'm not worried. Everyone that we have on offense is a weapon. Let's go get this dub and head to Buffalo. Let's lock in. So obviously, that was even before it was determined that we were going to play the Bills. I mean, most of us assumed that we were going to play the Bills, but that was before anything was determined. That was before the Ravens even stepped on the field that he said that. So let's look what he said after the game. He said, there we go. That's how we do it. Send them bums home. Just happened. Now it's on to Buffalo. Lamar will be 6-4 by the end of the playoffs and have a better record than Josh Allen. Hey, I'll be all for it. Next question came from my guy Brian. He said, yep, that's a wrap, brother. Ravens put the Steelers narrative to rest. In the playoffs, too. Todd Monken is goated. Todd Monken is really good. Goated, but he's really, really good. Because that second half, they got a little sleepy, but they still took care of business. He said, how you feeling about Buffalo at Buffalo? Personally, I don't like to forget our early season blowout. We've gotten better, and the haters are still picking the Bills. Hey, it's all good. No matter who's picking who, Ravens got to show up and take care of business. Yeah, week 3 happened. Ravens beat them, 35-10? And as much as I would love that to happen again, oh, my, if that happened again, especially in play, I would be so happy. I would be so happy. But, again, Ravens just get the job done no matter what. Win no matter what, and also no matter how. This question came from my guy Dre. He said, what's up, Ing? Hope everything is going well with you and yours. I just want to put it out there that as a fan, I was wrong about a few things this season, and the biggest thing I lacked was patience. I say this in regards to the offensive line first and foremost. Well, I mean, I get what you're saying, and I respect you for speaking up about it. The offensive line, they have been really throughout this season, they have been inconsistently consistent. They've been up and down. I think they had a lot more highs than lows, but they've been up and down. So yeah, but I feel you. Anyway, he said also Zach Orr. I get you. Zach, I think all of us was on the same page. The first 10 weeks were ugly. They were ugly, like ugly, hideous, man. So I get why you wasn't patient, especially because we like, hey, we trying to win now. We trying to get this done now. Like, what's this defense doing? And then he said also with JT, he was missing kicks. He was missing kicks. So I don't even. Again, I respect what you're saying. But I don't think you were wrong for not being patient with any of those 3 things, because all 3 of those things were negatively impacting the Baltimore Ravens. And you ain't want to just sit around and let them continue to negatively impact the Baltimore Ravens. So, but yeah, all 3 have been performing a lot better overall in all 3 of those phases, man. So, and those are all 3 phases of the game. See, the offensive line, offense, Zach Orr, defense, JT, special teams. He said, I've heard the mantra, trust the process, for years, and now I truly see what it means. Last night was a masterclass put on by the offensive line. Zach Orr called a heck of a game, and JT did his part. Also, the use of Lamar and Henry was exactly what we all envisioned the offense would look like when we signed the king. Boom. Minus a couple of miscues in the defensive passing game. Oh, yeah. Miscues, all right. He said, this team looks ready for that run. I'm ready to get my Jackson #1 jersey this year. And just like the business decisions made by the Steelers players with Derrick Henry coming their way, I'm out. And this also came from my guy, Dre. He said, and another thing, I just want to highlight the Devontae Adams situation from earlier this year. He could have been a Raven. He trolled us and all. Oh, yeah, with that Edgar Allan Poe picture. And he said, and now look at how it's going over there in NY. But he chose wrong. Well, Ravens fans keep receipts like crazy. Anyway, next question came from my guy, Omar. He said, hey, Raven, hope everything is going well with you. Great team win against the Steelers. What stood out to me was the outstanding game management and focused game plan from Coach Harbaugh and his staff. Yes, the team was focused, and we talked about it too. They were prepared in the playoffs and like well prepared too. He said the Ravens never looked rushed or out of sync. From the first offensive possession, you could tell that Coach Monken had full confidence in Lamar's judgment, and Lamar delivered by executing the ground and pound offensive strategy to perfection. Boom. Yeah. And Todd Monken's confidence in Lamar, that gave Lamar confidence in himself and in the offense because, like we mentioned, there was no hesitation from him. From the very beginning of the game, no hesitation. If he dropped back and he was going to take off, he took off, boom, like that. He said Coach Harbaugh knew he had the better team, so there was no need to take unnecessary risks that might have given the Steelers a short field, leading to a momentum shift and easy points for them. Yes, because there were some opportunities where they could have went for it on some fourth downs, but they chose not to. They did go for it on a fourth down later on, but early on, there were some opportunities that presented themselves, and the Ravens were like, no, we're going to punt. Smart. He said, I think this was the best performance from the offensive line all season, especially considering the quality of the defense they were facing and the magnitude of this game. When your offense rushes for almost 300 yards and your QB only gets sacked once, and you end the game in a victory formation after a drive that started with 6 minutes and 6 seconds on the clock, the men up front deserve a ton of credit. And yeah, you know what? My apologies. I know my guy, I think, was it Dre, who was apologizing about the lack of patience, but I gotta apologize because I didn't give the offensive line enough credit like I should have when he was mentioning like, oh, the offensive line, they deserve credit, Zach Orr and then JT. The offensive line, yeah, they did improve a lot, and for them to be able to put up numbers like that, that's if they are doing bad, that doesn't happen at all. So shout out to them. He said Coach Orr's defensive strategy was masterful. The Steelers were one-dimensional from the start. Their only chance to move the ball was through the air. While they made a few plays when the Ravens needed stops in the second half, Matabike and always stepped up and got to Wilson. My question to you is, I thought you were just gonna be talking about whatever went down and whatnot. I didn't even know you had a question. He said, in 2023, Coach T. Martin was moved from coaching wide receivers to quarterbacks. Since making that switch, Lamar has earned first-team All-Pro honors each season. What do you think Coach T. Martin's influence has been since taking over that room? I think his experience and his knowledge and understanding of the game from both a quarterback's point of view and a wide receiver's point of view. That's some real interesting perspective right there, because the quarterbacks and the wide receivers, they obviously have a super, super close and tight and important connection and relationship on that football field. So for T. Martin to be able to share with Lamar Jackson everything that a quarterback sees, but also everything that a receiver sees as well, that just makes him so much better. He said, as always, appreciate your insight, my brother. No, I appreciate you, Omar. Next question came from my guy, Jarvo. He said, we took our foot off the gas, in my opinion, but I'll take the victory. See, that's what I was saying, too. And I do think they kind of did, but at the same time, I believe in the fourth quarter, they had time of possession was like 12 minutes. And, you know, it's 15-minute quarters, so Ravens, like, they were literally running the show at the end of the game. So they really were holding on tight to that lead. I do wish they would have scored, but they won. They won. So that's always the most important thing at the beginning and end of the day. So they took care of business. Anyway, he said all three phases played well tonight and focused on what's in stake this Super Bowl run. Offense played turnover-free football, bingo, and we didn't play cute with our play calling. When Lamar Jackson runs, our offense opened up tremendously for the passing game and for the king to erupt. That's true, because they really started focusing in on Lamar Jackson, and there were times where they didn't know who had the ball. If Lamar was keeping it, Derrick Henry was getting it, or what, and that made such a big difference. He said, hope Lamar Jackson back don't be an issue going forward, because I heard the announcer say he was a little hurt. Hopefully, Zay Flowers will be back next week. And now time to see if we're traveling to Buffalo or staying at home and waiting for the Texans. Well, you know how that ended up. Oh, yeah, we ain't heard really good things on Zay Flowers yet, but let's see what happens. He said, just like the Steelers, I'm out. Oh, yeah. And do you think our tush push is better than the Eagles? No, I cannot say that it is. Eagles, they've been doing this thing for years. We just started this thing last year. So we a little still our pole push. We're still a little bit new to the game, but it be getting done. The job be getting taken care of. He also said Roquan said PQ told him something last time they played that I thought was funny. He told Roquan Smith that he wants to wear a t-shirt and hat in reference to being AFC North champs and Super Bowl champs. Looks like he chose the wrong team. Hey, no, I can't say he chose the wrong. Well, to get those shirts, yeah, he chose the wrong team. But PQ, he wanted to get his bread. He wanted to get paid, and he deserved to get paid. So he went out and got paid. But now, hey, he got his money, but there was a lack of success by his team overall this year, but I'm sure all the checks that he's cashing is going to make him be A-okay. He also said, guess we got the battle for the MVP game on Saturday or Sunday this week. Well, it ended up being on Sunday. He said, hope for another blowout win against them and make sure we wrap up and hit Josh Allen. That's a good point. Because we were talking about earlier, Josh Allen is tough, man. He's tough to bring down. That's a big boy. That's like a fullback playing the quarterback position. So Ravens really tackling is going to be of the essence, especially with Josh Allen. And you got to grab his arms too. Because we know there's been plenty of times when Ravens may like hit a quarterback, they may grab the quarterback by the legs or something, but the quarterback still got the ball and he still could throw it. But with Josh Allen, he's so strong that if you grab him and you don't grab them arms, he could still end up getting that ball off. So Ravens you gotta wrap up and bring him down. He said, if Texans beat the Chiefs, does that mean that we will play at home for the AFC Championship? You're right. So Ravens, they'll take care of business against, if the Texans do beat the Chiefs, then the Texans, no matter who they will play, and it will be the Ravens, but yeah, the game will be at M&T Bank Stadium. So that would be great. A nice upset. I can't count on that happening. So what I'm guessing is going to happen is the Chiefs take care of business, and the Ravens, they take care of business too. And now they got to get payback on the Chiefs for what they did in our crib last season. Beat the Bills. Next question came from my guy TJ. He said, beat the Bills, finish the job. God bless the family, the channel, and our Ravens. My boy TJ, he said, look, I ain't got all the time for the talking. I'm letting you know what needs to go down and how it should go down, and also what will go down. Next question came from my guy Zlager. He said, Grand Rising, my friend, this Sunday, and we woke up winners. Oh man, that's always like, that's the best when, if your team plays a little bit early than all the other teams and they win, it just feels so much better watching football. Because there's times in this season where that happened. It's like, oh yeah, this is great. I like this. And then there was also a time when sometimes when it didn't happen. The Ravens, they played an early game in the day and they might have lost. And it's like, or even week one. Well, we lost week one and then we had to watch the rest of the games all throughout. It's like, oh, okay, well, wish we could have got one of those wins, but everything in the end, it'll be A-okay. He said, I was waiting Monday. I just know Nick Wright is not going to have anything good to say. I don't understand why he hates Lamar Jackson so much. Also had this feeling that Denver is going to upset Buffalo. Well, you know how that went. But anyway, he said, I know they have a rookie quarterback, but it's something that I've been feeling these past couple of days. Well, I guess that feeling that you had, you might have had like a chili dog or something like that. You might have had a chicken sandwich that might not have been cooked enough, so it might have had your stomach just a little upset. But anyway, he said, thank you for reading my question. Next question came from my guy Tajh. He said, are any DBs coming back for the next round like Arthur Millette or Jalen Armour Davis? Well, Jalen Armour Davis, he's just been inactive. He has been hurt a little bit, but not like Arthur Millette. Arthur Millette been on injured reserve, and I don't think he's going to be playing at all for the rest of these playoffs. That's just me. I don't know anything. But what Harbaugh said, Harbaugh ain't say, oh, he's week to week, or he ain't say nothing like that. He said, oh, I don't even know what's going on with Arthur Millette. So it ain't looking too good for Arthur Millette, but we'll see. You never know. But with Jalen Armour Davis, he's like, he been in the bad side of the numbers game, and he been hurt too a little bit, but he's been more so on the bad side of the numbers game and just been on the inactive list. Next question came from Michael. He said, hey, team, keep it clean. Thanks so much for everything you do. No, I appreciate it, Mike. He said, including the most recent playoff win against the Steelers, I counted 10 out of the 18 games this season where the Ravens offense scored within the last 2 minutes of the first half, and 6 of those were touchdowns. I feel like this is a strength of the Ravens offense that people don't talk about enough, but I'm curious if you have any thoughts. Oh, man, Mike, I wish you would have been in the live stream yesterday, because when the Baltimore Ravens were getting ready to get the ball back, and I think they stopped the Steelers with like 2 minutes and 6 seconds. I think it was third down for the Steelers, and the Ravens got to stop with 2 minutes and 6 seconds left. So it went down to the 2-minute warning, and then the Steelers punted the ball. I was saying, like, hey, this year, a big strength of the Baltimore Ravens has been their 2-minute offense. They have been killing it. They've been killing it at, like you mentioned, right before halftime. They've been killing it at the end of some games too, where they had to drive down the field. They've been moving that ball like down the field, and it's been a beautiful thing to see. So that is a big strength of the Baltimore Ravens. Next question came from my guy Tyler. He said, what's up, man? Hope all is well. What's up, Tyler? He said, I just want to start by saying I started watching your channel about 2 months ago, and I've been loving the great content you put out each and every day. You very quickly became my favorite Ravens-related channel on YouTube. Yeah, I appreciate that, Tyler. Thank you, my friend. He said, my question to you is, now that we know we'll be going to Buffalo for the divisional round, I want to know your thoughts on how we match up with the Bills. See week 3. But no, I mean, we'll do see week 3, but I feel like with the Baltimore Ravens, like Bills, they have troubles a lot of times stopping the run, especially those physical running backs. And Derrick Henry, like, he fits that criteria very, very, very well. He also said, and what do you think the keys to victory for each team are? Keep up the great work, man. I love the channel. And just like the Steelers playoffs host this year, I'm out. Hey, appreciate that, Tyler. But keys to victory for the Bills or the Ravens, score more points than the other team. Nah, I ain't want to be annoying like that. But when you think about the Ravens, what they need to do in order to beat the Bills, we talked about it a couple of questions ago. When you tackling Josh Allen, you got to get them arms too. You got to really bring him down, because he's very, very strong. And like we've seen him do a million times, he can still make a play even though somebody wrapped around him and whatnot. So you got to bring him down. And just, I can't even say just make the Bills one-dimensional, but Ravens, you got to get off the field on third down. Like, you can't let the Bills extend drives. Points too. Points are of the essence. Touchdowns are of the essence. You got to score points. The Buffalo Bills are a team that they know how to score. They know how to score a lot. They know how to score quickly too. So you got to keep everything in front of you. But tackling, man. Tackling is going to be so important in this game. Derrick Henry, just continue feeding him. Show us exactly the reason that you brought him into this game. Pass rush. The defensive line is going to be so important because Buffalo got one of the best offensive lines in the league. It's between the Bills and the Eagles. So it's going to be tough. That's going to be a very, very tough matchup because our pass rush, They cool. They can get real hot. Sometimes they can get real cold. But they can be like up and down overall. But it's so important that you get the Josh Allen. You can't give him a million seconds back there because if you give him a lot of time back there, it's not a good thing at all. But yeah, Ravens just got to keep playing that game, man. Straight up, keep playing that game. And again, like we said last week too, if it's pretty cool, if it's ugly, cool, but just do everything, any and everything that you have to do in order to secure a victory. The next question came from Mello. He said, you mentioned one thing in the previous video I agree with, the right opportunity. I completely understand why coordinators take head coach jobs because it's the pinnacle job of their career. But when you are with an elite quarterback, why would you leave a position that is more than likely to take you to the championship? Opportunity. You may want more career growth because there are some offensive coordinators, and it's just like any job. There's some offensive coordinators that don't mind being offensive coordinators forever. They like, hey, I like being an offensive coordinator. I don't want everything that comes with being a head coach. I'm cool where I'm at. Then there's some other offensive coordinators that like, hey, I like being an offensive coordinator, but I want more. I want to be running a team. I want to be the head coach of the team. So I can't fault nobody either way. It all just depends on what you like. Because when you think about some jobs, there are jobs, I say customer service, for example. There's some jobs where somebody's like, look, I'm good being here. I'm good being on the phone. I don't need nothing else. This job pays my bills. I'm straight. I know from 9 to 5, I'm clocked in. 5 o'clock, I'm out. I ain't got to deal with nothing else. And they cool with it. But there's some other people that like, no, I want more. I want to be a manager. I want to move up in the company. And that's fine too. But they know that comes with more responsibility. That comes with more time. It may not just be a 9 to 5 anymore. You may have some stuff to do at nights. You may have some stuff to do on the weekends and whatnot. And you're going to have a lot more time that you got to put into that company. So there's some people that love that. There's some people that don't love that. So either way, it all just depends on what you like. He said, Coach Monken will definitely have some opportunities, but the Super Bowl will go through Baltimore as long as Lamar is the quarterback. I hope he sees the bigger picture and stays with the future Hall of Fame quarterback. And he said, what would you do if you were in that position? It's tough. It would just... I can't say. I don't know because it all just depends on what I would want. If I would want to be a head coach, then I would think, and it would have to be the right opportunity too. Because I would, and that's tough to say too. Because if there's a head coach opening, then that usually means this team, they've been pretty bad for a while. So they have very, very, they have little patience. So, hey, there could have been a head coach that got fired before the one that recently got fired that opened up the job for you. Or they could have been with a coach for a while. And they could have been like, you know what, we tried it, and it didn't work. So we moved on. So I would have to look at everything. What's our cap space like? What's the general manager like? What are the people ahead of me like, or above me, so to speak? What is everybody else like? Because I don't want to say the people below me, but what's the culture there? What's the vibe there like? What do former players say about when they played there? What do former coaches that coached there? But what do they say about that franchise? So I would really have to look at all that. It ain't no black and white answer in my opinion because there's so much gray area. This next question came from my guy Clyde, and this was actually before the game. He said, good afternoon. I've been watching Ray Lewis motivational videos all day. It would be nice if he speaks to the team before the game begins. I know they have Roquan, but when Ray speaks, it holds value. You saying Roquan don't hold no value? No, but with Ray Lewis being there, who knows if he spoke to the team. I'm sure John Harbaugh probably would have said it, though. But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, and I'm sure him being there helped a lot. They were like, oh, hey, there go Ray Lewis. He came to our game again. Okay, we got to show out for that boy, man. But yeah, Roquan held that down, and he been holding that down. Roquan, that's one thing Roquan Smith gonna do. He gonna talk. He gonna talk for sure, but he also gonna show up too and play. And I just got to give a special shout out to Roquan Smith. Because remember earlier this season, especially the first couple of games, we were calling him Slow Quan because he did not look good to me. He did not look good. He looked out of place. But it seems like a lot of that could have been conditioning, but at the same time could have been also confusion too. Because he talked about the communication, how it's been different with Marcus Williams back there versus with Kyle Hamilton back there. So I think that would have had a lot to do with it. He said, appreciate your hard work and effort that you do to keep us updated and just the positive vibes you give every day. Just like the Ravens, keep grinding. Hey, Clyde, thank you very, very much, my friend.